Hey guys, I'm Reeve Stimpson, and I'm gonna take you through the process of everything that we did from start to finish for my new music video, Over Me. As soon as the song was close to being completed, I started to write up an idea for a video taking inspiration from other movies and music videos, primarily stuff from the 80s, and my brother kind of came up with the idea of me being a mechanic, which is a callback to Uptown Girl by Billy Joel and I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen. I was looking for videographers in Virginia and Nashville and really couldn't find the quality of stuff that I was looking for until I came across a video by an artist named Spencer Sutherland. He had a video called Alive, and I really dug the look of the video, so I reached out to the director and the cinematographer. I sent them the details of what I was looking for a video. My girlfriend and I had a bunch of brainstorming sessions, and she came up with a bunch of really great ideas that would eventually become the full music video. So I took a bunch of clips from other music videos, spliced them together, and made what looks like a mock music video of what I wanted it to look like. They got my email, agreed to meet with me, and we set up a Zoom call. After a few meetings of talking the costs, logistics, challenges, and really anything that we'd have to run into, they agreed to work with me. I'm from Virginia originally, and my family still lives there, so they went to Virginia Beach to do some scouting of locations, considering we had a family friend in the area, and they gave us a couple of places to check out. They went to Lunacy, which is the bar we ended up using, and also discovered Don's Service Center. Both places were interested in what we were doing, so we actually got to use the places for free. We figured it was more cost-effective to fly the director and the cinematographer in from LA to Virginia instead of shooting in LA. Virginia Beach still has that kind of 80s boardwalk style you'd see in movies like The Lost Boys. So even though we had the garage and the bar already planned out for where we would be shooting, we also needed our walking locations. Since the director and the cinematographer are in LA and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, it's a little hard to look at locations, so we actually used Google Earth and went through the entire boardwalk area to see if we could find any cool spots. We screenshotted the ones we liked the most, and then we'd eventually go to those places before we'd end up shooting. I wanted to go into our Zoom meetings really as prepared as possible, so I reached out to the Virginia Beach Special Events office, and turned out we needed a permit to film there. So I went ahead and went through the process to set us up with a filming permit and insurance for the 2 days that we'd be filming. I had the idea to potentially run it all in one day, and thank God we didn't, because we were really running from start to finish over the course of the 2 days of filming. And now we get into casting. So I needed to hire a lead actress, mechanics, a bartender, backup dancers, a backing band, and extras for the concert scene. So I first started off with a website called Backstage. I put a post out there and was able to search via the locations that people were in, as well as if people had availabilities or if they fit a specific look that I was going for. I actually found a lot of the cast through different avenues. Some things I would suggest are going to Facebook groups, modeling websites, and even Instagram. I used hashtag searches for like Virginia models or hashtag rollerblading Virginia Beach. A really cool thing about Backstage as well is that you can actually post specifically what types of things you need in the person you're hiring. So I needed people to be able to dance, so I made sure to check that they had some sort of ability to dance as well. The person that came up the most in our choices for lead actress was Brandy. She was on modeling websites, Instagram pages, and she was also on Backstage as well. Brandy and I set up a Zoom call, talked details, and she agreed to join our cast. I made a vision board and checked with our director and cinematographer to see what she would need to be wearing for each scene. We wanted to see if she had any of the wardrobe outside of the swimsuit and the last dress that she wears at the bar. She didn't have the white dress, so we actually bought one from Amazon and had it sent to her to check. That process actually went on for everyone else as well. For the mechanics, we used Etsy to print out the names we wanted on the mechanics patches, and my sister Haley found some of the mechanics suits from Amazon. We tried them on, and they looked a little too cheap, so we actually returned them, and she found 3 suits that are better for us. All of the bar patrons and dancers came with their own clothing, and we sent out some general ideas and some looks. Some extras actually brought a clothing rack in case anyone wanted to change, so shout out to them for helping out so much. We created vision boards for every role and sent them out to our cast and see what they already owned. We weren't going to be too picky on a lot of things. We tried to make it look as retro as possible. For the dancers and the routine, I found the best routine we could use was a close rendition to the last scene in Dirty Dancing with the backup crowd behind Patrick Swayze. So I emailed our dancers with the routine, and that also meant I had to learn the routine for these parts as well. For the bar patrons and the bartender, Tom, I actually used Facebook and Backstage. They were the most beneficial for finding the most local amount of people, since we needed more of them, and I didn't want to get people from out of town to be traveling in if we only were going to use them for a couple of hours. Now we get to our crew. First we have Paolo, who was our first assistant cameraman. He was found when I made a post to a Virginia-based film crew Facebook page, and he recommended Travis, who was our gaffer / key grip. He worked on lighting. I still needed someone for hair and makeup, and that was the area I knew the least amount in as far as costs or really how to find someone to do this job. I couldn't have found anybody better for this. I reached out to a friend in my hometown, and she reached out to friends at local salons, and found, through a friend of a friend, a girl named Tiffany. She came to set super prepared and got the lead actress and I to stay as consistent a look as possible, and it was super hot on both these days, filming at the beach, and we definitely needed some upkeep, me in particular. Our cinematographer Sam recommended that the gaffer and our first assistant cameraman have a place to stay so they wouldn't have to drive in back and forth both days for shooting, so we set them both up with a place to stay at a buddy of my dad's who lived at Virginia Beach. Mike, thank you so much for letting these guys stay at your place. Thank you for your hospitality, and it really helped the video process a lot. We printed out consent and liability forms for people and had extra in case we needed to find people on the beach for specific roles. For props, I put out a Facebook post looking for props in my hometown, and my family really came through with that as well. The Walkman you see on the beach belongs to my 5th grade teacher, and the boombox belongs to my cousin. So thank you both for letting us borrow those, and sorry Megan for breaking your boombox. This brings us to the day before our shoot. I flew in from Nashville to Virginia Beach. My family brought their RV to stay and help set up. Our director and cinematographer both flew in from LA. We met up in person that night and went to the boardwalk to check out those Google screenshots for the locations we were gonna use for walking scenes. We had some places in mind for the first walking scene, but we really needed to get our feet on the ground, so we kind of scouted the locations that night, picked out the best walking spots, and found our ideal location for scene number 1. That morning, everybody came to the Airbnb that the director and the cinematographer were staying in, and we decided to use that as basically headquarters, and we ended up using it to change in between scenes as well. We bought a clothes rack from Amazon for our wardrobe and kept it there. Tiffany started to do hair and makeup. After that was done, we loaded the cars and got to our location number 1. Luckily, every place we shot at was within 10 minutes from the Airbnb, so that really helped out with cutting down on time. My sister Jessie assisted as personal assistant on day 1 and helped with general tasks, as well as being in charge of the playback of a Bluetooth speaker so that my song could be synced to my lips as I'm singing it. Even though we had a film permit, there were still things we had to get around, such as the first scene was being shot around a really loud landscaping company, so I could barely hear the song over top of how we were filming. But we eventually got enough takes so it wouldn't matter. Once we wrapped on location 1, we went back to the Airbnb, got changed, and got ready for scene number 2. Scene 2, we went to the beach and got shots of Brandy with the Walkman and me as well. And then it was time for the first food break. My parents called a local spot that accommodated everyone's food choices, and we picked up for food for the cast and the crew. And we kind of ate as we went since we were so busy from start to finish. Scene number 3 was our dance on the boardwalk scene. We set up a tent with clear signs on the boardwalk itself, the dancers to see and where to meet as a rendezvous point. And it's a really good thing we actually had a permit, because we were checked by local authorities to see if we had a permit for filming. Our dancers met us there ready to roll, and our makeup artist Tiffany kind of saw that I was struggling a little bit with the choreography routine, so she stepped in to take the lead on the choreography practice. We had people coming up to us asking if they could be in the video and asking what we were filming for, so it was fun to say that we were actually filming my first official music video. One of the challenges we ran into on this scene was we had one of our rollerbladers call and say that they weren't able to make it. They were sick that day, so one of the other rollerbladers that showed up reached out to a friend and got her to come to set very fast, so thank you both for making that scene happen. Our director and cinematographer filmed the next scene, which is the saxophone scene. Clifford looks so awesome in this scene, and you actually see him later on in the band, backing band as well. While we were filming the saxophone scene, we had Travis go to our next location and actually start to set up lighting for the bar scene. The show poster being put up wasn't able to be filmed at Virginia Beach just because we didn't have the time to do it, so Sam and Mike both filmed this back in LA. If you look to the left in the scene, you can see the Save the Clock Tower poster from Back to the Future. Some alternates that we didn't end up using were going to be 2 missing dog posters of dogs that we had that passed away, and a missing poster of the cast from The Lost Boys. I sent my brother Riley to our next location to make sure our background extras knew they were in the right place, because we had never met each other in person yet. We had extras there who were all great to work with, and even some of the dancers from the dance scene came and brought their friends to help fill out the space. Mike and Sam suggested that we buy a fog machine to optimize the lighting at the bar that night, so a few days beforehand we ordered one from Amazon and brought it to the bar. It wasn't working, and we were so pressed for time that we were about to not be able to use it, but my dad, in some lucky way, made it work, which really helped the lighting come through even better. I spoke with Colleen, who was the owner of the bar that we used a few weeks before the shoot, and she recommended that since I need a backing band to play my band behind me, that I reach out to these guys. The band consists of members of the Cody Browning Band in Virginia. This was someone that had agreed to play that night, and we worked with them to act as my backing band instead of actually playing their set that night while they mimed along to playing my song over the loudspeakers. After day 1 was wrapped, we decided to grab some pizza, head back to the Airbnb, get some sleep, and this brings us to day 2. For scene 1, we met at the Poseidon statue. We set up the boards on the beach. I scouted 2 girls on the beach and asked if they wanted to be in the video to help carry off the board. We set up a tent on the beach for our cast and crew to hang out while we were filming. the next scene, which was the heads on the board. My mom, who's one of the most creatively crafty people I know, built these boards actually with some ideas that I'd sent her. And the people in the video are actually my dad, my brother Riley, and our family friend Jeff. Jeff, thanks for making the drive to the beach. It was really great to have you on board, literally. We asked a lifeguard on duty for permission to film her as well, which is where having extra consent forms came in handy. Our cinematographer caught some really great B-roll and rushed to the water once he saw some dolphins and some boats and miscellaneous beach stuff. We finished up on the beach for the walking scenes and then went to our last scene for the shoot. Scene 2 on day 2 was Don's Service Center. We all went to Don's setup. Don brought in his muscle cars and truck for the garage. Travis set up the lighting and we filmed as fast as possible to use the sun for as much time as we really had it. This is a fairly simple scene. We caught some extra B-roll, which is the beginning of the video. We packed up the cars and celebrated finishing all of the filming that night. And that's a wrap on the filming of the video. It was such a cool experience to film and bring together people that were really like-minded, who all were such a pleasure to work with. We actually still needed to work more. So Mike and I got on multiple calls to discuss edits, fonts, sizing formats, colors, and the timeline of some of these shots in order to make the best version of the video. And both Mike and Sam started the process of coloring. After that, we were done. I uploaded this to YouTube and it's available to watch now. If you have any questions about the video you'd like me to answer, any aspects that I really didn't cover as far as the filming, comment it below. Thanks everyone for checking out this How We Made the Music video, and I hope you enjoy the actual music video for Over Me. Thanks.